Hello, this is Shindo here. Well, I came across this evening and I thought, wow, it's just, wow, just keeps getting better and better. Here's the headline. Donald Trump calls for, quote, total and complete shutdown, unquote, of Muslims entering U.S. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump called for a, quote, total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States, unquote, until the country's representatives can, quote, figure out what's going on, unquote. Good thing he's not too vague about it. We should ban all Muslims coming to this country until we figure out what's going on. This guy is the front runner. Going on, the Trump campaign released a statement Monday afternoon declaring his commitment to preventing Muslim immigration. The campaign justifies this discrimination by saying that large segments of the Muslim population bear, quote, great hatred toward Americans, unquote. Well, I don't know if Muslims hate Americans. I suppose some of them do, but I can tell you what, I hate Americans, and I'm one. Going on, quote, without looking at the various polling data, it's obvious to anybody that hatred is beyond comprehension, unquote. Wow. Trump said in a statement, quote, where this hatred comes from and why, we will have to determine. Until we are able to determine and understand this problem and the dangerous threat it poses to our country, cannot be victims of horrendous attacks by people that believe only in jihad and have no sense of reason or respect for human life. If I win the election for president, we are going to make America great again, unquote. This is mind-boggling. The release cites a recent poll from the Center for Security Policy, a Washington, D.C. based national security think tank, which said that 25% of U.S. Muslims asked think that violence against Americans in the U.S. is justified as a, quote, part of the global jihad. It is unclear how wide-reaching Trump's proposed ban would be. Does it include Muslim leaders of countries that are U.S. allies, like the King of Jordan, for instance? Or how he specifically carry out such a plan? Representatives for Trump's campaign did not immediately respond to a request for a comment from Yahoo News. But when asked by The Hill whether Trump's theoretical ban would, quote, would include Muslim American citizens currently abroad, unquote, spokesman Hope Hicks replied, quote, Mr. Trump says everyone, unquote. Ibrahim Hopper, the National Communications Director for the Council on American-Islam Relations, was startled that a major contemporary U.S. political figure would make such a sweeping declaration. Quote, you have to wonder what he's going to call for next. I don't even want to go there, unquote, Hooper said to Yahoo News. Quote, you have to wonder what he says next as he ramps up his anti-Muslim bigotry to new heights. It's completely astounding. I don't know what to say, unquote. Trump's statement comes a day after President Obama's addressed the nation to discuss terrorism and warned against letting the war on ISIS be defined as a, quote, war between America and Islam, unquote. Quote, ISIL does not speak for Islam, unquote, the commander-in-chief said. Quote, they are thugs and killers, parts of a cult of death. and they account for a tiny fraction of more than 1 billion Muslims around the world, including millions of patriotic Muslim Americans who reject their hateful ideology." Unquote. In an interview with MSNBC Morning Joe last week, Trump boasted about his relationship with Muslims. Quote, "I have many Muslim friends," unquote. The real estate mogul said, quote, "They're wonderful people," unquote. Wow. He doesn't know why the Muslims who hate Americans, and he needs to figure that out first before he lets another Muslim in this country. You think maybe the Muslims hate us so much because we bomb the shit out of their country? We destroy their infrastructure. Then we send in our wonderful ambassadors for the U.S., our military, which represent the finest of our people, and they don't represent at all the ugly American, to come in there and laugh at them and destroy what little they have left. But it's a real quandary for Trump, who got a tiny little loan from his father of $1 million to start his real estate ventures. It's a very curious thing to people like Donald Trump. Why is it that these people hate us so much? Why? Why would anyone hate an American? Gotta think on that one. It's happening, folks. The Abrahamic religions are destroying each other. The Christians, which, if Trump and the kind of people who, certainly the people who are going to vote for Trump, would call themselves Christians, the Christians are going to push what Muslims are out there who are decent people. Let me tell you something. I've never had a Muslim tell me I'm going to hell. I have a Christian tell me I'm going to hell practically every fucking day. The Christians are going to push the Muslims into terrorizing everybody. They're going to push them the way they have pushed Lucy and I. I started off trying to reach Christians, trying to get through to them, trying to open myself up and trying to get them to open their minds. But no, I had 666 in my screen name. Ugh, ridiculous. Welcome to Armageddon. You asked for it. This is Shindo signing out.